Hello, everyone. God bless you all. Beautiful Tuesday afternoon here in the UK. So, second one of my videos of a political nature, I guess you could call it, without getting too political. As you can see by the thumbnail, it says, "Lest we forget." Now, what the point of this is, as we all know, the media, um, from all angles, they have what's called a news cycle. So something will pop in the news, it'll sit there for 1, 2, 3 days, week, and then it falls out of popularity with the mainstream media. So I just want to just have a look at some of that stuff. So these are things which don't forget. Remember, they happened. They have been swept back into the shadows, and that's not really where they belong. So the first one is the grooming gangs issue. Now this was covered quite extensively of recent. If you want a little bit more information, um, look on GB News for a documentary Charlie Peters did regarding the issue. That's a good starting point. You could also look on Urban Scoop, and I believe there is a series of documentaries called the of Britain. You'll have to fill that word in because we are on YouTube, um, and that will give you other insights. So you can have a look at that. Sammy Woodhouse, great independent journalist. She's done a lot of work on this issue, but the issue has fallen out of favour as usual with the mainstream media. Now, this issue, um, it is by no means new, and it's by no means ended. It is still going on in this country. That has been stated um, by many online media figures, including GB News. So it appears that is factually correct. So we can run on that assumption, which in itself is shocking. Um, but as far as I am aware, this issue has kind of gone back even as far as the 1970s. Now, I can't give you exact dates, years, victims, survivors, perpetrators. I'm not going to get into that. Um, but this is um, somewhat of an issue in the Sikh community in the past. We're more familiar with it being brought up more recently um, regarding young working class girls, we'll say. I've got to be so careful what I say. I don't want to land myself in some ridiculous trouble. As you've just seen on my splash screen when I started, there is Article 10, Section 1 of the Human Rights Act. So that's what I'm going by. Yeah, so like I say, I need to be careful what I say, but don't forget these all of these survivors, guys. It's estimated to be in the tens, if not hundreds of thousands of survivors of this issue. It needs to be kept somehow in the public eye, and we need to keep pushing for a full national inquiry on this issue. Not these silly things that have been announced, local inquiries and limited inquiries. It needs to be a full national inquiry. What can you do? Write to your MP, demand a full national inquiry. Um, Post up on X, post up on your Facebook account. Be careful what you say. Don't go. I'm not trying to instigate anything or cause any trouble or frictions. Um, It's an issue which affects us all, or it should do if you are a citizen of the United Kingdom and you are concerned. So yeah, so that's the first one. I'll leave it. I'll leave it at that. But like I say, lest we forget, don't let this slip back into the shadows, guys. It's been in and out of the media for years on end, and these survivors, they need proper justice, which can only be brought about by a full national inquiry. So do your best to try and push that agenda. Okay, so the next thing I would like to mention is, now let me try and get my point and finger. Just here, the pledge, thepledge.org. Go to the website, it's all self explanatory, read it for yourself. Um, it's a statement of values that you can sign up to. They are basically British Christian values, or should we say British values, or I won't say English because they are British. Our values stem England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. We all our culture is a Christian-based culture, and yeah, so sign the pledge. Now, what this will do is it's pretty simple. There's no in-depth details. You won't be spammed. It's nothing to do with me. Nothing at all. I'm just a supporter of the pledge. To get enough people signed on to it that it can be taken to a political party with numbers, and presented to them. Say, look, X amount of people have signed this. We can email these subscribers to the pledge with your policies, etc., 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 and offer support to a particular party which represents our views. So anyway, that's enough on that. The other one, that is the Free Speech Union. I'd highly recommend you join the Free Speech Union, even if you don't think you're going to need their support. There's a lot of useful information on there. If you are a veteran, blue light worker, retiree, if you're on benefits, you can subscribe for as little as $29.95 per year. If you're involved in social media, you never know, you may fall foul. If you're not, just offer them your financial support. For everybody else they help, because they are helping with your right of freedom of expression and freedom of speech. So support them. Right, that's enough. Again, I'm nothing to do with the Free Speech Unit. I'm just a member, but I feel strongly that we should support them. So anyway, the second, lest we forget, I'm going to keep my eye on how long this video is. I don't want to go on forever. Lest we forget the Southport incident. Um, as far as justice is concerned, um, personally, I think a full life term was needed. But that didn't come about for whatever legal reason that was. It wasn't implemented. But currently, it's a 50-year minimum term, which means the I'm not even going to say I'm not going to say the name. The animal, the violent animal that caused this grief, heartbreak, and destruction of families. Um, Shocking and absolutely shameful, despicable person who could even think about committing such an act. My heart and my love goes out to the all affected families of the Southport incident. And I just want you to remember that. Keep that at the back of your head. The three beautiful little girls that lost their lives so needlessly, futures ripped away from them, and the terror, pain, anguish, that they must have had to endure, and the parents are still enduring, and they will always endure. Try and put yourself in their shoes. How would your life now be if some kind of, God forbid, if some if something was inflicted upon you and your family of anywhere close to this kind of nature, and God forbid it ever happens to anyone ever again. But do not forget these three little girls, guys. Please keep them in your hearts, keep them in your prayers, and the families of all all of the victims. There were a number of other very young children severely injured that will be physically, and their mental scars will never ever heal for those poor children. So we must remember those as well, and the two adults who were seriously injured. Um, One of the workers, and if I'm correct, a member of the public who sustained a severe um, knife wound trying to halt the attack. So just say a little prayer for those two adults as well. So that's yeah. So please, please don't forget. I don't expect anyone to forget, but okay. Now I've lost my thread. You know me, hopeless to the end. So have I got a time? How long is it? No, I can't see. Right. So I have got much more stuff on my little bit of paper. Um, but I don't really want this video to go on forever. So one thing I do want to touch upon is another lest we forget is across the world there is still major persecution of Christian communities. There was one recently briefly mentioned here and there, which I find quite shocking that when it comes to Christian persecution, um, the media just they just don't acknowledge it. So one issue I will mention is 70, 70 Christians were beheaded inside a church, a Christian church in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Very little report on that. So please, guys, keep those in your people in your prayers. The victims, the families, other Christians who are no doubt living in fear. So keep them in your families. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers. The other issue, which is kind of quite current, is persecution of Alawites and Christians and Druze, I believe, in Syria. Now, this is quite a major turnaround from what we was told that these communities would be protected, but they are obviously not. I believe the numbers are now reaching into the thousands, or 1,000 plus. I can't give you an exact number, but it's well over 1,000. Brutally executed. There are graphic clips and videos floating around X. I'm not going to post anything here because I found them quite distressing myself. So say a little prayer for those guys. Yeah, in Syria, nobody deserved to be persecuted. Nobody, and nobody deserves to be murdered in cold blood for any view, any religion, in my opinion. That is just completely not acceptable. Right. Okay. Well, I have got some more things on my list, but I'm gonna leave that there because I don't want the video to be too long. So, just think of those 3 points, guys. Give it a little bit of thought. Say a little prayer for these people. Keep them in your hearts, and try and do something to keep these issues or get these issues into any media platform that you're a member of, be it X, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, TikTok, Instagram, all of the social media platforms. Email your MP. Even if they ignore you, they've still got the email. Flood their emails. Flood their inbox with emails regarding the grooming gangs. Brushed under the carpet. Persecution of Christians. Again, write to your MP. Write to the BBC. Better still, stop watching mainstream media. Stop watching live TV, and then you can legally cancel your license. As long as you're not watching or recording any live broadcast, which doesn't mean it has to be live, just that it's going out on a live mainstream source, such as Emma Dale on ITV, we'll say. So as long as you're not recording or watching that, stuff like that, cancel your license, and you don't need one. Research it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an expert. I looked into it myself, and as I don't watch any of that drivel, I cancelled mine. So, anyway, okay, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you stayed this long, fair play to you. Thank you very much. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. Share this video wherever you can. Share it on X, wherever, all your platforms. Share it. Let's just keep some of these issues at least in the spotlight somewhat. So thanks a lot, guys. Love you all. God bless you all. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you again soon. I'm going to try and do another one of these videos soon. So cheers, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye.